starting on time. We have a very, very busy schedule today and great speakers. So, welcome. Charlie.
Right, so first of all, it's great to be back. This is our second joint event with BWFR. It's nice to meet some familiar faces from the last time we were together, and also some new faces. And thank you all for coming out. First of all, just going to introduce the British Romanian Chamber of Commerce. A few words. With the leading British business association in Romania. We're a bilateral chamber. That means Romania into the UK, and UK into Romania. We have around 220 corporate members, and we are present currently with offices in Bucharest, Cluj, Timișoara, and the UK. Our primary goal is to facilitate business opportunities and best practice for our members.
BWFR is celebrating actually in a few days our second birthday. We are a baby, such a sweet baby with 2,000 moms. And we are growing very nicely and developing very nicely. Actually, by far more than I was expecting to be. But with this development comes a lot of responsibility as well. And our responsibility is to continue and create quality know-how, to seek for the good speakers, to seek for good mentors, for good trainers, to join us and to influence all of us to inspire each other to grow our business. So BWFR will continue also this year with a lot of activities, and I invite you to our birthday, which will be in 8th of June, in a very sexy topic, I'm a queen. Inspired by the song, but that's a little silly song, and that's a very serious topic. Actually, it's about success stories. When we spoke with the speakers a little bit, I was more than interested to hear how they struggled through the years. The success itself is not so interesting. The failing on the way, that's the interesting part. I wonder how many of them are going to share about that, because you know it's like a kept secret. When we are losing something, we don't like to share. So I'm begging you, speakers, please share a little bit of the on the hard part, and how you developed from there. It's very interesting for us to learn, and in the spirit of leave the fix away, let's try to grow from there.
I'd just like to add, I have an expression which is failing upwards. And what I mean by that is that over 20 years of personal experience running, developing, setting up and selling businesses in Romania, the only lessons that I learned stuck with me that helped me go further and grow were the mistakes that I made. So I encourage people that work with me that they're not making mistakes, they're either not pushing themselves hard enough, or they're frightened to admit if they have made a mistake. And the amount and the power of learning from mistakes is a very big contributor to success.
Our agenda today follows 3 parts for this event. So part 1 will be the inspirational stories from 3 speakers. Then an open panel, which is under the topic of 7 habits of the most effective people, with a little manipulation to the most successful people. So we will try to see how real people apply that, if they apply that at all, with your collaboration. So we inspire you to join the ideas and share with us if you are using any of these habits. And then we will finish with the live networking session, speed networking, with the idea to blend and to meet new people, and hopefully to create also new collaboration. I thought it would be much more interesting to have the executive manager and not the owner of the business. Because you know, the people that created the back for MediHealth are the ones that contributed for the success of this organization. And actually, Laura is here to tell us how they did that, because it's a multinational company with a very unique concept. Now I invite you. Thank you very much.
So leave the pizza away. Be patient with me, please. It's the first time that I speak in front of so many people about myself. So it will be quite unusual. So let's see how I started. long time ago. I was young, was in 2004, with holiday, summer holiday vacation. So I did not have any idea about health insurance, about what can I say to an interview. So I went because I was curious. I never heard about it. So can you imagine what was the question from the first serious interview?
What do you know?
Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? This is the standard one. Seriously? Do you think that I could answer to this question in 24 years? No. So I started as a customer service representative in a team of 2 people, in an apartment of 2 rooms. Challenging. As you can imagine, there was no summer holiday for me that year. So I joined this great medical. Wild years followed. So this is a part of medical team. We started as a team of 2 members. Now, you see many beautiful ladies. Some of them are here. This is how we work. This is our environment. And I will tell you a little bit more about medical and what it's doing, but I just wanted to share with you how it started. So from a small team, we became a big one. This year, I will turn 13 years in medical, 13 lucky years. We moved from a 2-room apartment to our own villa in Bucharest. We expanded during the years with all the hard parts. It was not easy at all. We opened branches in Bulgaria, Hungary, and Poland, and created a 40 people team in all the countries. Last year, we also developed an independent sales unit in Bucharest. Our biggest achievement is the one of creating our health insurance plans. So we are, let's say, we are not an insurer, we are close to be an insurer, we are an intermediate, we promote international health insurance plans. And we started to promote just expensive ones. Not everybody could afford it. So what we did, different than the others, we are the first one that analyzed the need and came with ideas to develop plans, health insurance plans, to be able, like for everybody that has a middle income, to be able to have an insurance. What is this insurance all about? Actually, you can benefit of treatment anywhere in the world, in Europe or in your own country. I got different promotions during the year. Now I think I'm in the top of the world. Top of medical. I don't know, maybe I should become one of the owners. But I was like customer care representative, operations manager. I am a volatile person. I was like moved from the Israeli guy, from his own idea. He came and said, you know what, this year you need to do corporate sales. So I did corporate sales. This year you need to develop Bulgaria. So I started to develop Bulgaria. So a few years ago, he came and said, now it's your turn to be executive manager. So I think this is the end. I don't know. And we also have been recognized by our partners. We work with international partners, so we got different prizes during these years. The most important, because everything is related to people. So it's not enough that you sell insurance. It's enough that you also share the experience that the people are going through. So our plans provide cover, and you can also give birth having the insurance, so benefiting also of evacuation cases. We also had, unfortunately, oncological patients that got treated and got cured under our plans. Transplant stories, some ended successfully, some not. This is life. hospitalization cases, patients with chronic conditions that were kept under control, and patients taking prevention and checkups. So having the insurance that we are promoting, you can benefit of treatment anywhere you like. The best medical treatment, because this is our main concern, to be treated in the best medical facility according to our needs. So how MediHelp started? Before I came, of course. So MediHelp was created before me. So it was in '99. Two Israelis had a crazy idea to come to Romania to develop a business that nobody heard about. Maybe just expatriates knew because they were coming from outside, so they had an idea about it. So they said, you know what, let's go there and try to sell it. We started just to promote the expatriates because it was easier. It was hard to teach the market, to educate the people of what health insurance is. No, but also today, there are so many people that have no idea about the health insurance. They confuse it with the membership, the abonnement, what we call it here. So you go and ask let's present you and so on, you know how the sales is going, and they say, no, I have abonnement, I don't know where. But it's not the same thing. You are not limited to one provider, you are not limited to the service of that provider. So this is how it started. It seemed very crazy in the beginning. So our route was that initially we started in Romania. After a few years, Bulgaria was on the map. Another few years passed and we had Hungary, and last year, Poland. The first step is to establish the company. Okay, I think this is the easiest step. You establish the company, but you cannot imagine how a Romanian company, because even if it's founded by Israelis, it's a Romanian company, it's registered in Romania. So you can imagine how a Romanian company is seen in Hungary, or the other way around. So we needed to face mentality issues. Then, recruiting. Wow. This is, I think, the hardest point, and maybe you all can agree with me. So we had people that were seemed good at the beginning, and promised a lot. And then after, I don't know, a few months, we see that the target is not reached. The results are not good. We needed to find someone else. So we switched from different people to different people. In all these countries, we adapted to the local needs. We needed to understand the legal, the deductibility, the taxes that needs to be paid, the needs of the people. So this was our goal there. Because our portfolio of businesses grew, and we are not just a normal broker that is selling a policy. We need to be there for the customers. We are human. And the most important part for the person in need is the other one listening to the needs, helping them, understanding them. So we decided to have our own customer care department that is working with under two simple services: dedicated customer support and claims management. What does this mean? So we are the ones for the customer, helping them to administrate their policies, not to have any contact with the insurer, to limit their contact as much as possible. When they need to get the money back from the insurer, they are contacting MediHelp. We are the ones arranging their appointments to the medical providers, the direct dealing between the insurer and the provider. So everything related to the administration of the policy is done by us. Until this year, we focused on IPMI and international private medical insurance. As we have ideas every day, and we see that among us and among our friends, among our families, there are unfortunately cancer treatment cases. And we know that in 5 years' time, a person can spend 200,000 euros if they are lucky and they don't die. And sometimes they also need to sell their house to be able to pay for the treatment. This year, we focused our efforts to create a cancer plan. So it's just dedicated for cancer. On one hand, we are covering the medical expenses. On the other hand, I think this is the most important part, the navigation, because we talk about tons of information that the customer can get to. The friends are sending links to a different forums. The families are saying, you know, you need to go to I don't know which doctor and so on, so they are lost. We are helping them with second medical opinion given by our opinion leaders in pathology, and also with the navigation of these appointments, and we are arranging everything with the medical providers, that they just go, benefit of the treatment, and that's it. I thank you very much. I hope you be healthy, and I hope I did not bore you that much.
I'm curious to know about, I mean, you mentioned that you are, when you started, you educated the market.
Yes.
And, but you are still educating the market. I wonder how it's affecting your marketing budget, because one of the discussions we have in BWFR is whether we should be pioneers, especially with the startups that are thinking whether to open, to bring that product, to do that, or to try that. And we always think, okay, being a pioneer, presenting something new at the market is a big risk because it has cost. Do you see a significant change in your marketing budget and in your marketing efforts if you compare it to 5 years ago, to whatever you do now? Because you mentioned you are still doing education. People still don't know.
We are still doing education, and it's a different approach now than it was 5 years ago. Also, because now we are like connected to names that are very well known in the market. So 5 years ago, we talked about one type of plan and one insurer that was not known. Now, when we are like partner with another insurer, it's quite known. So it's easier for us. We don't invest huge amounts of money in marketing. Usually people come to us because they are referred by other customers. So we are not on television, we are just present in events, we are sending newsletters, like we are doing like a machine. Every month we are doing things to the customer or to the potential customer, let's say, but we are not, I cannot say that we are investing millions of euros.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I'm a little bit nervous, I must admit, in front of all those women, because as a Belgian, I thought this was Belgian Waffles Festival in Romania, so I'm a little bit prepared for something else. In addition to that, I need to talk about successes. Now, at my age, you have more failures than success. And then I thought about success, and let me ask you a question. Who wants to be successful? Good. Then I can ask the question to everybody. Who wants to give his definition of success? What does success mean for you?
Being popular.
Being popular.
It's like
Okay.
being popular.
Good.
Everyday achievements.
Finding your skills, put them to work in the benefit of others.
Good.
Doing what I love on a daily basis.
Ruling innovation.
Innovation, ruling the world.
Just being happy.
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 Charlie, here you go.
I'd say enjoying the journey.
Good. Now, the point I want to make is actually my definition of success might not be your definition of success. So when I talk about success, you might say that's failure. The point I want to make is throughout my career, that the sooner you get it, the better. It took some time for me to get it. Is actually come to terms with what you believe success means for you, for your family, for your environment. I think that's a major point, because once you define that, actually decisions will be easy to be taken. If you're a family person, and you want to be at home and with your children every day and during the weekends, don't take a job where there's 80% trouble. It might be a successful, you might have the power, you might have the money, you will not call it a success. But the first thing you need to do is to come to grip with what success means for you, then life is easy. So, let me tell you a couple of things I have learned, and I'll focus on the feelings. First of all, you don't wake up and you find out you're successful. I have the expression, or I have the question, how do you eat an elephant?
Bit by bit.
Bite by bite. First of all, it's too big to eat because you have an indigestion. And the future is built day after day. Now, I've been into Romania for 7 years. The first 3 years as the CEO of RBS Romania, when Royal Bank of Scotland took over ABN AMRO. At the end of that mandate, we actually started talking about money. Because Monaco at that time was owned by the Royal Bank of Scotland. But because of the failure of that bank in the UK, they had to sell everything off, including RBS here in Romania. And the new owner of Monaco at which point said, look, you're doing international payments and FX, this is by definition a business that we need to go international. So I made a case for Romania. I did my homework. I interviewed people. That was end 2012, beginning 2013. Did the market research, identified the people, discussed the report in the UK. The result was that in January, February 2013, the board said, look, Romania is a little bit too exotic for us for the moment. We'll first try the exotic country and island of Ireland. Fine, good, to be understood. If you've never been in international business, directly going to Romania might be a little bit understood. But we were ready. And then we did something else. I'll come back to that because I was going to tell about failures. And we did something else. But then last year, the people in Monaco remembered the business case. They called me, they're saying, look, Ireland is a success. Are you still in Romania? Are you still interested? I said, sure, but let me do a little bit to check the people, the market. Is it a little bit similar than 3 years ago? And then we launched, got the board approval. We launched on the 4th of July last year. What I have said there is that we have built the future. We were well prepared to enter the market. The business case was there. Does not mean that we have no surprises. We have surprises every day. But we felt that that was the right decision. Now, coming back to when the Monaco deal was not approved and they first did Ireland, I was contacted by the National Bank. No, I don't want to say anything bad about the National Bank. But they said, look, Johan, you left RBS. Would you be willing to lead a Romanian bank? I said, look, I'm not sure, but let's have an interview. Now, when I had an interview with, actually, Anna, who is actually working with me in Monaco, but also in ABN AMRO, RBS, and also in Banca Carpatica, but that's because that's where I went. So I had the discussion, an interview, with the owner in Romanian. Now, my Romanian is as good as yours, although I think I'm more fluent in the bad words, but we'll can test later on that. Which was a strange interview. I'm not sure if you ever had an interview in another language with, I would say, typical Romanian entrepreneur. Challenging. Actually, the result was that after that meeting, we wrote a very nice email. Well, I wrote it in English and then Anna translated it by saying thank you, but no thank you. Fine, the National Bank came back and said, look, don't worry, that person has no executive roles anymore. We will support you. You can choose your team. Why don't you give it a try? So we gave it a try. Yeah. Because we had a dream. We wanted to make that Romanian bank the Romanian ABN AMRO, because we were a little bit disappointed that ABN AMRO RBS left the market. And we had the team. And the team was motivated to follow me. So we brought like 50, 60 people to Cebu. Because that's what the headquarters was in Cebu. Now, Cebu is a beautiful city, by the way. So anybody from Cebu, it's wonderful. Don't put a bank there. It's a beautiful city. So when we found out there, and we thought we did our homework, we looked at the report of the auditor's clean opinion. After 1 year, that auditor didn't want to audit anymore. We found out that 50% of the loans would never be repaid. That we ended up with 1,400 people. And when my Belgian ambassador said, "Oh, you go to CPU, how many people do you are working in CPU?" I said, on a good day, 50%. So the thing is, there was a different mentality about the people I found with ABN AMRO and the people I found in CPU. The balance sheet looked different. There were some legal cases. You might know the stories, but the owners got into legal issues. A listed bank. The voting rights were taken away from that shareholder and his, I need to take more words, his partners. The bank was unmanageable. Or dream about making an ABN AMRO, la vedere. Yeah, gata. But the task was different. How to get out alive, one. Secondly, how to make sure that the 150,000 clients, primarily pensioners, did not lose their money. Therefore, we had to find a new investor, had to restructure the whole bank. So I compared a little bit like talking about the top there of the world, or the top of the mountain, saying, look guys, we're sitting together. We're going to save this bank, we're going to bring a new investor, we're going to get to base camp, I'm not interested to go to that top, and we'll hand it over. But that's when Monikop talked to me and saying, look, I need to finish my mandate with Carpatica. We found the investors, we found enough money to capitalize it. It's now merged with Patria, we saved the bank, nobody lost any money. The point I want to make here really about success is two things. We learned a lot during that year, and to Charlie's point, we learned more with Carpatica than with RBS and ABN AMRO. So sometimes you find yourself on the wrong place and you say, oh my God, or even worse. But you don't give up, don't give up, don't give up too easy. Yeah. Readjust your objective. Now I want to save the bank. I'm not even thinking about creating a new ABN AMRO. Save the bank. But don't give up. But that's also the kind of the key of the success. So be sure you do your homework when you start something. Don't get too kind of quick and say, look, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to be successful. I'm going to wake up and I'll go to whatever. I'll book a plane ticket to Nepal and I'll start running to the Mount Everest tomorrow. But you plan it in advance. It's very important. The second thing I want to say, and I want to focus on that, is about the team. Yeah. Now, one of the values is that I'm always going to work with people. When you put me in a room alone, I'm going to be a total failure. That's why I feel like a lot of people, you can take the best person, when you put them in the wrong environment, in the wrong job, and you will fail. So that's why you should not be disappointed if sometimes you find yourself in a job you cannot handle, or you don't feel happy about it. Take your time, relax, keep on breathing, and leave. Because life is too short. Yeah? Now, people. Again, I've come back to the examples here first. There's actually 2 times in my life where I can say I had a real team. I'll give you the definition of a real team. It's when I worked for Pepsi. I was responsible, I was the general manager for France, Italy, Spain, for Tropicana, which is actually the division, the juice division. So I had a real job before banking. So at least if this came only in a midlife crisis, I mean, whatever. Some people make mistakes. Now I'm saying actually we're not a bank, going back in circles. That we had a real team, and then I think now with Monaco we have a real team. Because actually the core of those people, we have been working, me at least, for the last 7 years that I am in Romania with most of these people. And some of the people which then were in ABN AMRO, they've been working for, I'm not going to declare too much your age there, but whatever, more than 7 years. Now, the thing is, when I came here in Romania and I saw the people from ABN AMRO, between you and me, and instantly, they're sport. They were sporters. Yeah? ABN AMRO puts a branch here, great, the Dutch are paying, not bad. They have the clients in the Netherlands, they're saying, look, we have some clients or have branches in Romania, on board them also, they will be happy. Nothing hard to be sold. And a good environment. And they thought, and we believe, that they were a real team. We came on very well together, we worked very well together, but we never had a real fight. We never had a real difficulty. But when there was 50, 60 people, had to travel every week to Sibiu, see there an environment which is completely different, very hostile, that's where you become a team, or not. That's where you see the real value of those people. You can think about great people, great quality people, people you work very hard with, but if you haven't gone through the deeps and get up again, you never know. You never know. Now, the other thing as a manager that I have learned, and that's probably because maybe I'm a little bit Flemish, is that don't be afraid to, at a certain point, you need to step aside and you need to delegate. You need to actually realize that some of your people are actually better in some tasks than you are. So you will need to give them that task. You will also need to know at a certain point that somebody is ready to take over your place. It's a very tricky one. And I've seen it very rarely. With all respect to Romanian entrepreneurs, no. They created it, they think they are the best, and they're still the best before they just go 3 meters under the ground. They don't change, and they don't delegate. Yeah? I have seen it with Mars, that's not on the planet. Mars is a family business, that's a chocolate business, and they think it's really stuff. And when I was there, I worked there for 8, 9 years in Belgium, Netherlands, Russia. It was Russia 93, 94, big stories. But at some point you want to do like 5, 5, 5, only 5 minutes. Right? There's only, but that was managed by John and Forrest Mars. Those were actually the people who managed it. I think in the early 60s they said, look, we're not innovative anymore. We don't realize we're actually going to recruit an outside president. It's the first time, it was a family business. Yeah? But it's very rarely you kind of see that, then you make that step aside. But it's also very kind of proactive that you do this. I mean, in our organization, we're a small team, we just started the year. But I'm there. Kostman is, well, they're younger. There's another one who is younger than younger. So there is actually a natural kind of follow-up already. It might not happen. But at least this kind of, it's not like all kind of middle-aged blokes who are kind of going to have some fun. It's a thought-through organization that people are motivated to work in. I think it's very important that you think about it. Two more things. Two more things.
Now 5.
2, 5, 7. Don't be, when you actually are hesitant and where you actually have a problem, it's okay to look back. Sometimes you think, especially when you start up a business, and we have witnessed it, so much things like the regulation. It's difficult with clients. We try to get in contact, they don't respond to the emails. The headquarters in London, the system is not working. Yeah. And then you say, look, it does not go fast enough. If you then go back, and you say, We opened the door on the 4th of July. It was stopped. We have now a coffee machine. Our systems are working since the 8th of November. Nothing to do with the election of Trump, just a coincidence. We had some good news on the 8th of November. We now have 135 corporate clients and about 100 private clients. No, it's actually not bad when you look back. Yeah? Even if today it's like, oh my goodness, I'm frustrated about 10 things. So at a certain point we like to look back because you will actually be motivated to actually move forward. I think very important. By the way, one thing I want to say about motivation. Yeah. If you recruit people, I only always take the person who is most motivated. I don't take the smartest. I'm afraid if he's smarter than me. always take the one who is most motivated. Seriously, especially in a startup. The other thing is about details. I mean, I'm not sure about you, but me. I mean, I can explode when there is something missing. I have problems with kind of small things. I actually told you guys the story. I'll take the story there because at a certain point I had to bring the team together to actually tell them a story, which I've read from a book, by the way. I now don't remember the title, but I will just change. But it was actually a story about somebody climbing the Mount Everest. And East only had like 150 meters to go. -60, windy, new air, different. But he had a running nose. It's annoying, a running nose, yeah? I mean, when you need a running nose. So the problem is he took off his glove to actually clean the nose. He lost the glove. -60, the arm was frozen. He couldn't grab anymore. They had to bring him down and amputate his arm. It's a true story. What I mean by that is that make the difference between those things that are important and those that are not important. If you fail, you need, especially with women in the room, if you fail, you need to fail in style. and what I mean by that is that don't fail because you're lazy and verzat and schmecker and whatever. No. But if you have tried everything and you've tried your best, but for some reason, economical thing, whatever, it's still a failure, it's okay, because you will have learned the next time how to react to that system. And that's my main point. So thank you very much. I might have a treasurer with 25 years old, great experience, great servants in a multinational bank. Or I might have a 25-year-old who's just going to go for it. Maybe you choose a 25-year-old. It depends on the motivation that you have in order to follow you, to achieve you, to not give up when the times are getting hard. Because in a startup, it's hard. It's not easy. I make mistakes when hiring people. Yeah, definitely. But it most of the time comes down not necessarily on the competences, but on the motivation. Or the values that they are present or lacking.
I have a last question before we take a break. I've been working with banks for many years with executives, bank managers. It's like a personal, so excuse me.
No, we're alone in the room.
You're not a very typical one.
I'm not. No.
How do you survive that?
I will take that.
I can't imagine you sitting in a board meeting. Something is not right.
I'm normally not sitting.
Yeah, you are.
Well, that's why I'm saying actually I'm not a banker, and I take this as a compliment. Because again, I've been more working in the fast-moving consumer. But again, sometimes it's also a challenge for me. I like challenge. That's also part of my success. If people are saying not a banker, I want to run a bank. But again, banking is evolving also. I mean, that's the point I'm having with bank, and that's why I'm happy to join a banking disruptor. I think it's somebody said, Gates, I think he said, people need financial products. They don't need banks. Banks is kind of a nice building, 36 stores, important people, overpaid. No, it's not me, because you should have a white one with a tie. But that's not true. That's not how banking started. Banking started actually in a pub, where people bought the thing. It has created that ivory tower around and that image around it. Very simple products. You want to pay, we take the money and we give it to the one you want to pay. It's all electronic, it's not complicated. If the bank is charging you 15 euros for a Swift message, they're screwing you. If you want an urgent payment versus a non-urgent payment, it's all the same cable. It's not the slow one. They are screwing you. I've been used to sell Mars bars. Yeah, I'm Belgian, so I keep things simple. Yeah? That's the thing. So if I'm probably not a typical banker, good. But again, that's
Stay like this.
I'll stay like.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you very much. We are moving quickly to our next workshop, a personal story. My relationship with DentalMed started a few years ago as a client, just an innocent client, but a very, very happy one indeed. When I started my collaboration, the activity in VWFR, I invited them to partner with us, and they are supporting us already for the 3rd year. I'm very proud to be a partner of DentalMed, because I know very closely the level of excellency that is implemented in their activities, and I can say it objectively as a client. DentalMed is actually one of the biggest success stories in the dental domain in Romania. Maybe not too many of you knows that, and I thought it would be interesting to share the personal story behind that brand and to see what exactly they were doing there. I also invite you to come and see the clinics, because they are very special. Actually, the first time that I came to the clinic, Razvan was making me a VIP tour. And the stories behind every piece of room, every planning, every corner that he was creating there was simply amazing. But I cannot talk, you just have to come and see. And I will also let Razvan to tell the story behind a very, very successful initiative.
I'm honored to be here and to take your time with this presentation of me, my brother in our company. First of all, just a few words. I'm a person which changed the direction in life. I come from a family of physics professor, and one of the grandmother was a dentist. And concerning my brother, they always told him, "You'll be a dentist, you'll be a dentist, you'll be a dentist." For me, they didn't say nothing, but because they were physics professors and they are doing private lessons with others, and I understood they appreciate the people which are good in physics. My mother was training them to the Olympics of physics for national or international level. I think my ego of a child wanted to be loved, to be accepted, went into this direction, and I followed this direction until I went to France and do a master and a PhD in molecular biophysics, and then 1 year before finishing the PhD, I had the chance to be included in a group of students which were analyzed and helped by business consultants and trainers to be trained in other jobs, in other directions. And this way I understood that I'm not for physics, because I cannot be committed too much time onto one direction. I need to vary, to change. And my focus cannot be for 3 years or for 10 years, but for 1 year, for 6 months, and then I need another focus. So I was not good for being a researcher or professor, and it was a difficult, tough decision for me, because imagine my parents, which were teachers in physics, all their friends be in physics, and they said, our son is now in Paris, he'll go to the United States, he will go to NASA, he'll go. And then I say, okay, mom, I will quit. And what to do what? Maybe I will open a real estate agency in Bucharest. It's a shame, you cannot do this, okay? I am passionate about architecture and planning of space. And that's why I was so involved in Delta and the story. Me as an architect and my brother like a dentist. So together we managed to make this success story. We started in 2007, and we arrived at a turnover of 3.2 million euros. Our team is not so so big. You have here in 4 times. But it's multiplied. But we are very feminist. 53 women and only 15 men. So we love women. And they love us. We have 25 top doctors, 3 professors, collaborators, 3 radiologists, and 3 international collaborators. And we have all these fantastic numbers now. Over 1,500 implants every year, 300 periodontal surgery every year, over 200 sinus lifting procedure every year, over 2,000 ceramic crowns fixed every year, and over 200 IV sedation every year. And not less than general anesthesia performed in hospital for special kids with special needs. From all these patients, which are at least 25,000 a year, until 35,000 a year, which is a huge amount of customers which are visiting us, but they are not unique visitors. We count for all the visits of every patient. So some patients come several years a year. There are 10% foreign residents in Romania which are visiting us. Okay, so this was just an introduction to see what we are doing today, and to understand the motivation and what we understand as Romanian about success. Just to explain that until 18 years old I was a Romanian communist UTC with a gist. And in December it happened, the revolution, and I was passionate about photography. I perform my own pictures, and I have a personal laboratory. I developed the film, and then I project it in a special apparatus, and on the paper I put it in the solution and to obtain the pictures. And these pictures are taken by me these days, where these cars were destroyed by the tanks. One tank there, and this is Scala Victory with some tanks. I search for these pictures, especially for this presentation, because they are really authentic and taken by me. And the main idea is we were in a society with no opportunities, with all the doors closed, and after that a lot of doors opened, and in fact we have to value this moment, and today to be more how to say, not so rude about our present, because we are in a process, we are in a journey, and if it took a process of 50 years of losing our identity, maybe it will take another 50 years, so we have 25 years remaining to become normal. So let's be happy with the day we live, with the nice people we meet, and to do nice things together. we had some interesting milestones. Our clinic began as a trial. My brother had a dental practice during 6 years, and we started to do some real estate businesses, and we find a place which we wanted to refurbish, to make an office, to rent the office, and just take the money from the rent of the office. And at one moment, my brother had a dream, and he wanted to start a dental clinic in that place. And I said, my brother, but are you sure you can pay the rent? He said, okay, let's try. So this was the challenge. And I was a little bit taken by surprise. The refurbished of the space took longer, the building took longer, but the businesses grew so fast, from 3 to 5 dental units, arriving at 10 dental units in 2015. And if at the beginning we thought it would be space left in the building for other offices to take the rent, it was no more space, just the clinic. So the building was designed just for clinic finally. And we create a special environment. When we arrive in our clinic, the first thing is your vision is attracted by the design. I'll show very fast some pictures. And if you have some fear, some questions, you forgot them because you'll be attracted. What's this? What's this? And it's better for you. You will be more quiet, more happy with the treatment, because waiting for the treatment for some people is not very pleasant. The crisis arrived, and what we have done is to invest more in marketing, in PR, and to get awareness, and to use our customers which were happy with us. And what we have done very special is to integrate a lot of things for the customers in order to prevent them to go elsewhere for additional investigations. So once you come to us, we have everything. You don't need to go elsewhere for different kind of other investigations, and you save a lot of time. Just to understand from what all this began, from a Vetus commercial space and an old building here to a complete new building one, which has developed this clinic. The stages of the building, you can see during the construction. And the most important idea that we are very focused on the experience you have inside. You feel very good inside with the people, with the procedures, with the environment. Our mission is to provide a 360 luxury dental treatment. You will see fantastic interiors. These are our values. They are not invented, but they are completely authentic. We are located near the Marriott Hotel. This is one of the reception with 10 dental units. We cover all the services you need for dental practices, and the premium emergency service at any hour in the night you can come. We are at very high level in surgery. Of course, we are dedicated to the kids, and we help them to have no fear and to come with love in our offices. We are also involved to help the others and the young talents of Romania. And the luxury is not what you see outside, but it's a high level of highest level of medical treatment. And these are just very short stories to understand which is where does come from the energy from all this. Just at 18 years old, I need money for the summer, so I was a taxi driver at 18 with only 3 months of having the permit. It was possible in Romania those days. Okay. Okay. I left for Hungary because Romanian cars manufactured in Romania, Dacia, were not taxed in Romania. So I bought a car in Hungary, bring it to Romania, and sold it. I was a student in the first year. and I won double the price I paid for the car. It was fantastic. And another adventure very nice to understand is that I was driving to France. I passed through a ski shop in Germany, and I observed that they have a lot of used skis, and I put question after question in my poor German, and they finally offered me hundreds of pairs of used skis, and I sold these skis during my studentship years in Romania, with gaining more than $15,000, which is fantastic for those days. Because the topic was the top of the world, just not to be so far. I really love the mountains. In these places, we are finding the energy, connecting with nature, to be calm and aim high, and have the courage to go further. And what you can see here is not just a picture for this presentation. It is displayed in our dental units, and we believe it all the time. Thank you very much for your attention.
And we're going to ask our panelists to give an example in their own careers, their own lives, which can show how they realised that specific habit and made it part of their working practice. We also, and this is very important, we also want to make sure we have time to share practices with you in the room, because I'm sure that there are some amazing experiences and best practices that you can share with us. I mean, the first habit...
So if you have, during the time that we present the habits, if you can think about something real that you implemented in your life connected to that habit, hold that thought and share it with us, because we want to hear from you. Actually, the question is whether this is real. You know, I hate theories. And I wonder if this is still valid.
Because it's quite old.
Yeah, first of all, it's old, but you know, a lot of people are still talking, it has its own vibe. So let's say if this is really happening, yeah?
Can you attach these habits to positive experiences that you've had using them?
And to successful
And
people.
to successful people.
Yeah?
So habit number 1, be proactive, the habit of choice. See alternatives, not roadblocks. Focus on what you can influence. I am free to choose, and I am responsible for my choices. From my perspective, this is not only about being proactive and to take a positive step forward, but it is also about recognizing that there are some obstacles and challenges that you face in the day-to-day that you're not necessarily going to be able to overcome, but what are you going to do about it? In the chamber, we face a specific target, a specific obstacle at the moment that most of you are aware of, Brexit. So what are we going to do about it? It's not something that we can control, and it is not something that we can necessarily influence today. I do not have a crystal ball. We cannot say what is going to happen in 2 years, 4 years, or however long the process takes. But what we can do is that we can be proactive to make things better, and we can demonstrate by our actions that we're here to do business. So we've reached out to develop relationships with other institutions, other business networks. We proactively communicated in the marketplace that we're here to do business, that we think that Britain has a lot to offer, and that we value very much our traditional partners and the valuable relationships we've developed in Romania. And that's something we're doing proactively. We're not waiting, we're doing something. So, over to the panel.
Are you applying any proactivity in your daily style?
Well, I think it was part of the story I said that you just don't wake up and be successful. You need to prepare for what you do. You slow down. A good example and a bad example, actually. I think it is actually very important to have a goal in mind. And if you make a plan, put something there up to 5 years or whatever, refine it. You might not reach it because I'm going to say something else. The journey is more important than sometimes. But at least you need to have that dream.
I totally agree with his approach to be proactive, because he talks about the fact that you can focus on the problem frame or on the solution frame. If you focus on the problem frame, like for example, I work with children, okay? I teach mindfulness for children. If you focus on the problem frame, the children will try to find guilt and will focus on being ashamed. If you focus on the solution frame, you see opportunities, you see that you are capable. So again, you have a choice, as he's saying. You can take responsibility for what you say, for what you think, or how you behave, or you can blame other people and be a victim. I think this is about being proactive.
Thank you very much. We will move on to the next habit. Quickly, please.
Quickly. In fact, many people act by motivation, and we have two kinds of motivations: when you are running from something or you are going to do something. And unfortunately, in Romania, because we are in a difficult period, 3/4 of our population is running from something and not going to somewhere.
This is a Romanian culture also because it emphasizes a lot on shame. Failure is not seen as feedback; it's seen as you failed personally. Like I don't see failure as failure. I see it as feedback, and it gives you like unlimited opportunities for you to try again and again until you succeed. And I all the time use with kids like Edison tried 10,000 times until he succeeded to create the light bulb. So there is no failure, just do it.
Okay, no to
Bravo.
yourself, be proactive. Okay, habit number 2 is about begin with the end in mind. So when I read this, it was so clear to me because this is how I actually function my business plans. So I'm a project finance. That's my domain. And when we are doing a project finance structure, that means structuring a financial solution for a complete project, we always start at the end. Who will be the off-takers? Who are going to be the clients? So the project can be brilliant, amazing, great locations, but if there are no clients, we start from the end and go in reverse. I wonder if you have similar examples to something that you do in your daily life, because for me it was like, but of course, but I mean, that's it. We begin at the end. Of course, if there is no end, I'm not going to the start. And this is how I eliminate a lot of projects. Any other benchmarks for that?
Well, I think it's an obvious statement, as you said, right? You need to know what you're working for at the end.
True.
But you need to build into that plan enough flexibility in case the end changes, which it often does.
True. 5 off-takers.
So as long as you're conscious of that and you're not obsessed with the end, because the end is often not the end, really.
For me, this business of begin with the end in mind is, for me, very important in inspiring the people that you're taking on the journey with you. If you don't have an idea of where you're going, how can you expect people to follow you? So it's very, very important for me, vision, and clearly communicating vision to your team is what will inspire them to follow you and to go forward to achieve, or not. It should be measurable and it should be challenging. So it shouldn't necessarily be readily achievable, and it should be something that people are able to see that they are achieving and moving along a line towards. I agree with some degree of flexibility, but to me vision is about inspiration and motivating people to follow you on a journey.
Anything from the panel on that aspect?
I think you said it all.
I think it's a question of energy and motivation. When you look at the end, even the end is very far. Maybe you can judge it very difficult to attain. It keeps you on the journey and gives you the possibility to be happy with the little step you are making every day. Little step by little step, looking at the so-called the end, which is in fact the end is a new door.
The habit of integrity and execution. Focus on the important, not on the urgent. Effectiveness requires the integrity to act on your priorities, and plan weekly, act daily. This one for me is the hardest one, because I'm a person who is always looking to the future and tends to get very excited by new things, new shiny things. And I can say to you as one of the lessons that I've learned more than any other is the idea of focus. Focus and having, as it says, the integrity, but being brave enough to stick to what you've decided that you're going to do and not be drawn off the path on something that may look great but actually isn't where you've decided to focus. And it's very easy to be drawn into new technologies, new initiatives, custom requests that may not be specific to what you're doing, because we're all under a lot of pressure. One of the lessons learned for me in business that has helped me is focus. Focus, decide what you're going to do, and focus on that specific area.
Think win-win. Okay, we all know about win-win. We negotiate, we have to think on the other side. Can everybody be happy?
No, not everybody.
Should I think about everybody to be happy? Is this possible at all? This win-win philosophy is somehow killing us on the way. Okay? That was where I was blocked because, okay, on the near the negotiation table, it is clear to me that we have to do win-win, otherwise there will not be a deal. Agreed. But let's try to take it to the personal life, especially the shift A, shift B, juggling. Not very easy. What do you think?
Maybe the previous point can help you.
It's important that you are happy with yourself.
This I got
Don't
no.
Oh, no, it was not a therapy session on a snap
No,
therapy.
Bonus.
It was a reflection.
Usually,
Okay, thank
I'm
you.
happy if I feel good with myself. I don't give a damn about the rest.
That's not win-win. That's not
So
win-win.
I-
Win-win is win-win.
Yes, but in what she said, if you are happy with yourself, then you can make others happy.
You think?
Yes, I truly think that. I mean, it's one of my philosophies. You don't have to be egoist and selfish in order to do that, but if you are good with yourself and you feel good about yourself, then you can share happiness and goodness to others.
Because what I keep hearing around me is that not everybody is going to be happy. Accept that.
Cannot.
This is something about
Your
win-win.
close circle, let's
Yeah.
say. Your
Not
family,
everybody
your
will
friends.
like you.
Cannot
This
make-
is something that you should
That's
all
another
accept.
story.
You cannot make everybody happy all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually win-win, and there is a new one, win-win squared, doesn't necessarily mean that you do a deal. It could be win-win, could be not working together. As much as it is working together. Yeah? So it's not everything about succeeding in your objective. The success of your objective could be something that could be seen to be not a success, not a win.
We'll reformulate sometime it's known this word. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. And when you learn, take it as a win.
Very good point. Very good.
I will switch it. I would say like think win-win. It's a little bit outdated, a little bit, and I would use be flexible. When you're flexible, you learn to adapt to other people, to other places. So practically, you understand that that person that you talk to, you don't have to agree with him or with her, because she has different values, different beliefs, different life experiences, and that's that person's life's map. And if you are flexible, you understand it brings you a lot of peace of mind, because that person thinks different according to their own map. And it's being flexible. It's a win-win for both. But I would call it being flexible.
Accept the acceptance.
Sometimes it's necessary to just to ask for the person in front of you what is winning for this person, because sometimes we have different perspectives of winning. Maybe we can find a technical compromise, a technical point of view of both to ensure both of us can win from that situation, but it's not obvious from the beginning.
But why does it have to be a win?
The word win is bad because it's linked to competition with the other. But if you take the word win, the idea of winning, on your own objective, and also you look the other people in front of you objective, and if you can harmonize both, you, from your point of view, you know the other has one, and that you has one, two, without being in competition.
Yeah, it depends on the context. It could be a business context, a personal context. Yeah, it depends on the context. But for me, winning, it's like I associate it with the business setting, and it's a little bit harsh because it's not, as you said, a competition.
Seek first to understand, then to be understood. The habit of mutual understanding. From the point of view, in my past life, I ran a development training company, and we did a lot of leadership development. The skill of clarifying and confirming is probably, I think, one of the most valuable skill sets that a manager can have or a leader can have. Because the difference between what you communicate and what the other person understands is a big difference unless you use the skill of clarifying and confirming. Put yourself in the other person's position. It is really important as managers and leaders that we try hard to put ourselves in the position of the person who is working for us rather than just in our position. And it's a tough one, but it is really important. That is where you build trust. That is where you build loyalty with your people.
Synergizing, also a little bit 80s, let's say, but I was trying to think about how we implement synergy, and I thought about the forum, about the power of the forum, about the power of the community, because we are a lot of individuals. Okay, each one of us has our own problems. Okay, we are running between clients and companies, and we try to close contracts and to collect and to be the best and to promote ourselves. But something amazing is happening in these communities, and something amazing that I see also in our forum. The power of the collaboration together brings a different result. It's really a different result. It's not a 1 + 1. It's really a 5. Let's say it's something different, and I think, to be honest, that's the trend. I really believe in the trend of the communities, and I think that it's a shortcut to synergy, the one that we knew from the past. Okay, I don't think that synergy exists. I mean, we are all living in the social media, but I'm not sure how synergizing this atmosphere really is when it is incomparable to the real communities. What do you think? Do you synergize in your life? Do you think this is a real quality for successful people, to synergize?
Sometimes we try.
We try.
Sharpen the saw. Maintain and increase effectiveness, we must renew ourselves in body, heart, mind, and soul. For me, this is work-life balance. It's about the idea of having a balance, because for me, if I did not have the break between work and outside life, I would not have the ability to have clarity, energy, and also to look at things in a different way. You need to break. And I noticed something with all of the presentations that we had today, that they all have passions completely unrelated to work. Okay? So having that passion, that's something different from work that takes you outside of work, allows you the ability to come back refreshed, clear, and have a different perspective on what it is you're looking at every day, can really help you in terms of driving forward.
Habit number 8. And this is something that I want you to think about for 1 minute, or even less. Instinctively, what do you think is the quality that is missing here? The real one that really describes successful people. We kind of need to be in shape, okay? I don't speak about sports because no, but I'm thinking about being in shape related to working very hard. Okay, I mainly refer to the entrepreneurs, not to offend anybody, but something in the life of the entrepreneur is somehow a little bit more demanding in that aspect, and sometimes I feel that physically we work very hard, and we need to be in shape to cope with that. So we can be out of shape from a sports point of view, but we are in a working shape.
no rock. This is something that I identified in myself as well, that when I'm not in that shape, it's very, very hard to reach the result and to reach the success.